Welcome to the Premier Coin Report, your weekly numismatic update. I'm your host, Isaac, and I'm joined, as always, by three coin dealers from across the country. We've got Curt in Washington, D.C., Jeffrey in Florida, and Charles out. You're in Southern California right now?
Northern right now.
Northern
Northern.
California. Very cool. So we get every episode started with a little game that I like to call Guess
Yes.
That
Yeah.
Guide. This
Right.
one is a little bit thematic because if you don't know, we're done with pennies officially. Yesterday we struck the last 5 cents, which I guess is a good number of cents to make. But we're looking at a 1787 Fugio Cent. This was arguably one of the first coins, if not the first coin officially struck in the United States. It uses a design made by Benjamin Franklin. It's the famous "Mind Your Business" coin. There's not a
Yeah.
whole lot of like PCGS, NGC data on these because there's a bunch of different varieties of the coin, so they don't have like the estimated survival rate or anything like that. But I did pull for this MS-66 Brown. There are 19 in NGC and 9 in PCGS. Now I'll give a little hint. The value of these on the price guides have increased over the last few days. I'm
Yeah.
Oh, I
assuming
believe
after
it.
the news that we're no longer officially, we're done with business, strike pennies. But we'll
No.
go ahead and get the ball rolling. Charles, you say no. What are your thoughts?
The colonials are coming back a little bit. They were weak for a while because a few collectors sold their collections all at the same time and they had large collections and it suppressed prices a little bit. But I think they're coming back. I mean, we're coming off of the Baltimore show, which is where the big C4, which is the Colonial Collectors Club meeting was. And from what I heard, like I didn't, I'm a part of C4, but I didn't attend the meeting, unfortunately. But it's a great club if you're into colonials and you're serious about collecting colonials. C4, you could
Yeah.
look it up. They do a great job, and they meet annually, I believe, every year at the Baltimore show. So yeah, I think the market is coming back on colonials. There's renewed interest now. So we'll see what happens. I'm not surprised by the recent uptick in prices, and I think that trend will continue.
So, what are you thinking for an MS-66 Brown?
God, that's tough because there's so many different, as you said, there's different varieties, and
Mm-hmm.
a mint state Fujio though, it's got to be worth some money. I mean that usually, they're not mint state, right?
Yeah,
Um,
I don't think there's very many at that grade.
No, they were workhorses, the ones that did circulate. Any uncirculated examples, I mean, I'm not sure if all of them are, but most of them are from the Chase Manhattan Bank hoard that came out in the 70s, I want to say. But barrels and barrels of, Fugio Cents and other colonials were, especially Fugio Cents, were found in a basement or a storeroom of Chase Manhattan Bank in New York. So most of the uncirculated coins do come from that hoard. The nicest one I've ever handled was like a four. I've never handled a gem, so I can only imagine that it's a very valuable coin.
Did you say they're in barrels? They were
They were
found
in
in
barrels.
barrels.
Yeah, that's how copper.
That's awesome.
That's how the. Yeah, that's how a lot of. That's how the Randall hoard of large cents was discovered as well. Copper coins were stored in barrels. That's how. You have the 1773 Virginia half pennies were found. I think they were also in New York that the hoard was found, but yeah, in barrels, if you could believe it.
Very cool. Okay, so Charles, what's your guess for the PCGS price guide on this piece?
God, that's what. So what grade is this again?
This
It's
is a
hard. I can't see
66
on the screen.
Brown. Yeah, it's a
The
66
66.
Brown.
Oh wow, yeah, even at a
It's the
brown. I
four
mean
sync.
that's
Is that how you say that?
Yeah, four sync
yeah,
foils.
sync. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The
Uh,
you can see the little. I think the sync foil is if you look at the top of Fugio and in front of 1787. I believe the technical term for that is a cinquefoil, and there should be 4 points of the.
Okay.
So that's how the variety gets its
So
name.
like the little flower thing.
Yeah. I
Okay.
mean, I'm not that knowledgeable. I don't. I couldn't tell you what they are off the top of my head. I'd have to do some research. But I
Someone
yeah,
who's
star
more
like.
someone who's more knowledgeable, put it in the comments below, and we'll all learn together. Cool, but Charles, quick.
God, tough. Okay, I'm gonna go 72,000 on this one.
72,000. Okay, Charles is at 72,000. Curt, what are your thoughts?
I don't know. I sold a 65 for like $7,500 not too long ago. 64 plus or something. So I'm gonna say 25K.
Okay, Kurt's going low at 25K.
A 66 though? Man,
I feel like I've
that's gotta
seen
be-
them, especially in brown. It's not like a
Yeah.
66 red. A 66 red, like flashing, blazing, I could see like being a more than $50,000 coin. But
Unfortunately, I think Kurt's right on this one. It's sad though to see them so cheap. Like knowing the history of this coin, it's crazy,
yeah, it's awesome. I'd rather these than a 93 large cent.
right? Yeah,
Call me
I mean,
crazy.
mind your own business. Come on, man, that's iconic.
If I could only have one, but I would take a half Dismay in front of it. So
Yeah, and if you're gonna have a great type coin as a Fugio, well, it's not technically a type coin, but if you're gonna have a great Fugio example of a colonial coin, wouldn't you have it in a 66? Come
I would
on,
say it's more of a type coin than it is a colonial coin because you got to think about it. These
right?
coins were authorized by the American Continental Congress. So this is PCGS. Oh God, what's his name? Oh, JD and another gentleman. His first name is Craig. Very, very, very awesome researchers. JD and Craig Shaley. I can't remember, but they had PCGS reclassify. They were able to do the research to reclassify the Fugio from a colonial to what is now known as federal contract coinage because these were
Yeah,
authorized by the federal government of the United States, as we know,
right.
pre modern period, pre U.S. Mint era. But they contracted some guy in New Haven, Connecticut. I think the original number was about $500,000, and then he ran off with the money.
And he
Right.
only got that deal because he bribed the Secretary of the Board of Treasury too. So I mean, there was a whole bunch of mischievous things going on.
Yeah, so this coin almost
Wow.
didn't happen, but it's not quite a colonial coin. It's a weird in betweener, which is why I love it. It was my dream coin when I was a young kid. My you can ask anyone I went to school with how many times I asked about the Fugio Cent, and they tell you it was a lot. I
It's
annoyed
a
the
it's a
hell out of them.
wonderful coin. I hate to have to cut in, but we need to get a guest from
I'm a
Jeff here.
yapper. Let's see, Jeff.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I actually love this coin. I mean, we actually had one of these in house not too long ago that we sold to a customer. Is the 66? Correct me. Is that top up or is there a couple graded higher than that?
To my knowledge, that is top up on PCGS.
It's
And
gotta
what
be.
did Kurt say? I
It's
know
gotta
Gamer
be.
said 25,000. What did you say, Charles?
There's a 66 plus New Haven restrike in
No, Those are
NGC.
those are mid in the
Yeah,
18.
yeah,
No.
yeah.
Yeah, so that wouldn't count. So yeah, that'll be
I
top
don't
up.
know. This breaks my heart because a coin like this that's so tied to Benjamin Franklin, the first federal cent of the government. I feel like it should be worth six figures. It's ridiculous at being 4 grades away from perfect. But realistically, you say it's going up a little bit. I'm going to curtail Gamer a little bit. I'm going to do 30 and play it safe here.
You're gonna do
But
30.
I definitely feel like it should be worth a lot more. But I know it's not.
All right. So for the 1787 4-sync regular strike MS-66 Brown, PCGS has it listed at $30,000. Jeff,
Good
is
job,
right
Jeff.
on the money.
Good job, Jeff. Good job, Jeff.
Well done. I feel like that deserves almost
Wow.
extra points, but that's not
For a
how it works.
66,
Points are arbitrary.
that's sad though.
Hey, that's my first win. It is sad. That's why I said, super sad. Now, for a trick question, I just looked this up. Does anyone know what Fugio stands for?
Fly.
I fly.
Freedom.
Come on, Jeff. You can't
That's
get me with
that's
that.
day one numismatic stuff.
Hey, you'd be surprised. I'd be curious at how many people didn't know that and just figured that out.
Leave it in the comments if you learned something just now. We gotta move on to we'll slide into the final pennies here just because it's relevant, and then we'll go cover the metals market that has actually over the past 2 days kind of had a little bit of a come up, but we've got a little video to watch of them actually minting the last 5. So I figured we could pull that up and watch it together, kind of give the give the penny a good final send-off. What do you say? It's 38 seconds long.
3, 2, 1. Done. All right. Yeah, that's one. Good job. Good job. The Department of the Treasury and President Trump no longer believe the continued production of the penny is fiscally responsible or necessary to meet the demands of the American public. The cost savings of ending penny production will save the American taxpayer approximately $56 million a year in just production cost alone.
Makes sense,
There you
but
go.
it's sad.
It is sad.
End of an era.
Well, let's be real here. We got 4 panels on here, right? We've got 20-year-olds, we've got fathers, we've got everything in between. How many of you guys have a penny in your pocket right now? I know you all got a wallet. Yeah. Right? I honestly, I don't know anyone. Right?
I might have a penny like in my bag, but not readily available. I'd have to go look.
$56 million. That's a lot of money.
And,
There was a time you could buy stuff with a penny. Granted,
yeah, Charles
that was
remembers
a
it.
Yeah.
Charles bought his first house with a Barber quarter. He got it out of a Sears catalog.
Hey, I still remember the dollar million.
I wrote to the mint. Huh?
I will say though, like you know, a lot of people might not even think about this though, but I mean, you know, majority of the mints around the United States have struck pennies. You know, Denver Mint, Philadelphia Mint, and throughout, and they strike the penny in business strike, burnish strike, and proof strike. And then you have like reverse proof, you know, and oddities and stuff like that throughout. So I mean, realistically, with the changes in the penny and stuff like that now, I feel like there should be a nationwide coin hunt right now if this is true. Now I know that they're not stopping the strike of the penny because they're still making proofs, enhanced proofs, and stuff like that. I think some business strike pennies might end up in the proof in the U.S. Mint sets. So there still might be a variety that are still being released into the collectible world. But if we can classify and probably communicate with NGC for words, right, which are the last mints that struck the last pennies and when, you know, that should be an American coin hunt because those coins in Mint State 70 grades are going to start bringing some value quick.
Yeah, so the last 232 of them were struck specially, and they are going to auction. I don't know if they're being graded, but they will.
My God.
We got a Dustin Don set again. We got a 2021 scenario. What are they going to? Stacks?
There's not many details about it. Curt, why do you seem pretty upset about this? What are your feelings about auctioning off the last two?
I don't know. I mean, no comment. I mean, I don't know. I like the ability. Like, could you imagine if they put the last penny out in circulation and there was they engraved the die to say the last, you know. So in 1836, right, we started using steam presses to strike coins versus, you know, screw presses. And if you take a look at the cap bust halves, they look completely different from one year to the next, right? So in order to celebrate on March, it was supposed to be in February, but they moved the date because the press needed time to they needed to rebuild the press. But in March, I want to say March 22nd, 1836, they started making steam press coinage in the United States. They'd been making them in Europe prior to that, obviously. But we developed the technology, and we struck tokens to commemorate the event. And I actually have one. I'll throw a photo of mine up here. Boom. It's available for auction right now, actually. Go ahead and bid on it. But there's also one from Robert L. Patterson's collection, and it's known as the very first, engraved at 12 o'clock on the edge. Now, a normal one sells for a couple, $2-3 grand, but that one sold for 20, 10 years ago. And it's the very first metal coin, whatever you want to call it, token that the United States Mint produced on a steam press. Now imagine if they had taken the last penny or the last 232 and released them into circulation. How many more people would be looking at their change versus already doing the fun for us and getting them into holders and already consigning. That's all the legwork. Sure, it'll net the Mint more money and, get them in the hands of collectors who really want them. But imagine if they were to release them almost like a manhunt, You know,
Yeah.
for the last 232
Like
pennies, how much
it would
cooler
be
that
Willy
would be.
Wonka style.
That's just my golden ticket style. Now that's just my little fantasy. How many would actually have been found versus spent as scratch off pennies for lottery tickets? But I think that'd be a lot cooler.
They could have done a drop on the US Mint website where everyone gets to buy a roll of pennies, and you don't know if one of those pennies has one of the special pennies in it or something. Well, on the flip side of this, we all know what happened with the first and last, the Dust Till Dawn sets. You know that last penny and the first penny are probably going to go for 50, 60, 70, $80,000, and
Oh yeah.
that'll bring some craziness to it too.
I wouldn't be shocked if it. I would not be shocked at all if this last penny, if they can actually figure out which one was the last one struck. If they don't
Oh,
give
they
it to
will.
Trump or something, I wouldn't be shocked at all if it sells for six figures.
No, the
Yeah.
So
last
if
like
if that sells for six figures and the Fugio only goes for 30 grand, I'm buying the Fugio.
No,
I
I
mean,
think
this
I'd
is
take.
crazy.
You see,
This is
I would take the last penny. I think. Call me crazy, but if I knew for sure it
Really?
was the last penny, call me crazy. I think I'm taking the penny.
no, yeah,
I'm
they
telling you
should
right now,
know.
I will 100% be bidding on these pennies and getting them in there for some Mint-State 70, like the last 100 ever struck. Oh yeah.
Yeah, so they do know the last they specifically the Treasury director went to the Philadelphia Mint to mint the last five yesterday. So like they know exactly which ones those are. As for the first one, the final 232, they called it Omega stamped. Do you guys know what that means?
Yeah,
What is that?
no.
it's a symbol. It's a
So
symbol.
they have like a
I
special
know what
symbol
you're
on them. Okay, so they will be marked. So they totally could have just released these into circulation in it.
Right?
It would've
Wouldn't
been-
that be
it would've been sick.
awesome?
That would have been sick.
Yeah.
They should have struck them with a different material just to go wild.
Yeah.
Bring the fucking
Are they gonna
Stella
certify
back
them?
just for the last 200?
Oh yeah,
I
they're
don't
going to be
know.
certified.
Oh,
Yeah.
surely,
Oh yeah.
surely.
They're going to be numbered and everything, just like the gold eagle and the silver eagles were done. They're going to get the last box of 500 or something. They're going to number every one of them. They're all going to be certified. Oh yeah.
That'll be cool.
interesting to watch. That'll be cool. We do have to go ahead and move on. Goodbye to the penny. We're gonna do a little funeral for it. So stay tuned for that.
Are we?
I am at least.
So what's going to happen to wheat cents now? Like, are wheat rolls going from double face to like quadruple face now, or what's happening?
God.
I think
No.
people are gonna try.
I don't think so. I mean, come on, guys. They minted like billions of pennies in particular years. I mean, there is
Yeah.
literally no value in Mint-State 70 wheat cents. Zero. If you get some errors, maybe. But come on, they minted in most of the years. They minted like 200 to 300 million pennies. There's
Yeah, but you said Mint State 70s?
I'd pay a lot of from in-state
Yeah,
70
that'd
wheat
be
cents.
wheat cents. That's got to be crazy. I don't
Yeah, that'd be like a $75,000 coin.
exactly, dude. I was like,
I know
wait a
some
second,
registry guys
wait.
that would play for that.
Oh my God, yeah. Are you
I
kidding?
see a lot of buzz about people thinking that they can collect the coins for the copper value. Like in 10 years, the copper value is going to be like $10 or something. So they like double in
Yeah.
value. But like,
Wait until they find out it's
whatever.
illegal to melt them, though.
Could very well be.
There you go. But we have to move on. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's
we
true.
love the
They're
pennies.
they're legal tender, Curt. Yeah.
They are still legal tender. Let's gold and silver, folks. These are hot topics in the community because if you bought gold coins 10 years ago, you're now sitting on, I guess, probably double, maybe almost triple your money. We're
From
sitting
10
right
years
now,
ago? Yeah.
We're sitting here now at $4,200 for gold, which it was like, I think it dipped below 4,000 last week, and we're back up over the last 2 days. Silver as well, back over nearing all-time high or record highs again. Well, I guess it's not record highs because it went up to 80 in the 50s, but highs
Is
for
this
the
a
last 10
screenshot?
years for sure. This is not, no, this is live. But yeah, I mean, just over the last couple of days, it's been, we had a big up, and then it went down, and we sat for a minute. I guess this is like government shutdown, and then shutdown ended. We're back up here. I don't know if that has any direct correlation, but the timelines do sort of line up there. I don't know if anybody has anything to say about this, but we mention it on
Everything
the
is
podcast every
correlated
week.
these days. Everything is correlated these days. It's hard to find
That
markets that
checks.
are not correlated now.
I don't know anything about bullion. At this point, I cannot predict anything.
That's fair. Charles, you yesterday sold a bunch of $10 liberties. How did that go?
Yeah, very well. It went fast. I mean, there's a lot of people willing to buy. A lot went to some, dealers, and then some went to retail people, and was just sort of a mix. But just as they came in, they sort of went out. I mean, so that was reassuring. Even though we were at record prices, I was a little nervous because, with the prices being so much up yesterday, that where are people going to come in? Are they only going to take a couple at a time? But no, they took in volume, so it worked out really well, and that's a good sign.
Nice. How many coins did you sell and how quickly?
But probably like 200. Yeah, I know.
That's
It's
crazy. And
crazy, right?
it was like fast, right?
Yeah, within a day. Yeah.
Within a day,
It was a
$210
mix of Saints, 20
Okay.
20 libs,
Okay.
lot of mostly 10 libs, a lot of tens.
Very cool. But you were kind of scared because of the recent gold hike. Just people weren't gonna want to buy at those levels because I know those coins are pretty
Yeah.
tied to the melt value.
Yeah, so they were all generics, you're talking like mint state 62s and 63s mostly. I had some 65s too, but like for 65s right now, I could probably retail. You're looking at like 5% over I could get for them. I mean, it's very tight spreads on these things, it's not all that
Right.
profitable, but people love them, and I think it's a great way to collect gold. Like if you're going to be buying gold or whatever, I prefer the old gold, like the libs and the saints and stuff like that. To me, if you're going to stack, that's how I would stack, you know what I mean? But it's all
That's
preference.
just
Some people
cooler.
do like the American Eagles, the newer stuff, and that kind of thing. But I think you could get a better value to melt. Like if you're looking at pure melt, I think you could pay a less of a premium and get something super cool, like a coin they're not going to make anymore, like a $20 Liberty or a $20 Saint. I mean, they're just great
Yeah.
coins, historic coins.
Yeah, and you're looking at nowadays paying 50, 60 to $70 premiums on like a mint state eagle. So I mean, it makes sense to go for the
Yeah,
older stuff
yeah,
where
dude,
the premium
exactly.
sort of feels more justified.
Yeah, that I barely,
You can
you
get
know.
20 modern coins or 19 lives. What would you rather have?
I take
Buy
the
gold
libs.
coins. I would
No
too. I'd
motto
take the libs
libs.
all day.
No
No
motto
motto libs.
lives.
Oh, he
That's
wants the
Kurt's
no
motto
mottos.
is no
Yeah.
motto libs.
No motto lives. I have lots of no motto
Which, by the
lives.
way, Charles, I know we spoke last night about that too. I know Curt loves to get the liberties as well, close to spot. So if you have more of those laying around, I know we both love to pick them up.
I think I do. I gotta go check over there. I have like some 63s, but they're not no
You have
motto.
no motto libs?
No, they're not no mottos. They're type threes.
Be really cool if they were.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
I'm so sorry. We got to keep it rolling here. I love the conversation, but we got plenty to cover. The U.S. Mint, we have a new 250th anniversary redesign reissue for next year. They're bringing back the 1907 $20 St. Gaudens in a 1 ounce gold coin and then a commemorative silver restrike with the more modern sort of release. I don't. This
wow.
honestly seems a little lazy. It looks kind of cool, but they didn't really do much here. It looks like.
It looks weird
I'm
though,
over
the
it.
design.
I'm not really a fan. I think it's really crazy that they're going to try to sell a 1 ounce gold remake of St. Gaudens for more expensive than what it would cost to buy a mint state St. Gaudens today, right? Like there is no rhyme or reason. I don't see why this was a good idea, in my opinion, because you can, like you just said, Charles, you just sold what 200 of these coins in mint state condition for pretty much spot.
Yes.
So now they're going to try
Yeah.
to make the same coin, but a modern version of it, and sell
Yeah.
it for
Makes no
a
sense. Yeah.
premium above spot. like I get the one they did 2 years ago, which was a flowing hair, because a flowing hair gold coin costs $500,000. Those are, those are
Yeah.
six-figure coins all day. So to even attain one is unrealistic. And when you look at the Bucking Bronco, that's like a $12,000-13,000 coin today, but that coin never existed before. When you look at the Sunflower, that coin never existed before. So if you're going to remake something, you got to remake something that's unattainable, that people want to have, but can't really afford the real one. So I can't see
100%.
why anyone would spend 20% of a premium to buy this from the U.S. Mint, minted in 2026, when you could literally just buy a dozen different date and mint marks in mint state condition that are actually real early 2020s.
Exactly.
Yeah, this doesn't make a ton of sense.
You could get mixed dates, as you said, Jeff. I mean, and the real saints, St. Gaudens, wouldn't you want those? Like, I mean, I don't know. It's just crazy to me, but I don't know. I don't know where they were going with this one.
I'm interested to see like what the release price of this is going to be compared to like an actual Saint Gaudens $20 lib. But
That's the
two,
joke.
I'm interested to see if literally anybody buys one of these. I can see maybe getting the silver one, maybe, but unless you're like completing a set, like it doesn't make sense
Well,
to get this.
That's the problem, is everyone needs to complete the set. And then the worst part about this is I really hate that they changed the design of the silver coin, but they don't make the silver coin an actual denominated coin, right? They keep doing this where the gold coin is a $20 coin, but the silver coin is just a metal, which that totally deflates the value of that coin, because most collectors don't want the metals, they want a backed coin. So why not at least make that silver? Because I actually like it. It's a different design. It's not really the St. Gaudens. I kind of like the fact that they made the wings the American flag. I think that's kind of cool. But why didn't they make it $1? Like, why? Like, why make it a metal? Like, I understand it's like an act of Congress or whatever, but still, like, it really, I'm a little disappointed that they literally picked this design. I mean, it's a bummer.
So wait, that's not the new American Eagle design, is it?
No.
No. This is
Oh, okay.
they're
All
like doing a bunch of different re-releases. They're doing like a Standing Liberty quarter and the Mercury dime, and this is like
Got it.
their gold coin. But like,
Which honestly we've been asking for a while, and the Saint
Right.
and the Saint looks really nice.
no, they're doing like a stylized silver metal with each release of just like
It's just-
a new age design of it. So it's just like
So it'd be like a
But, like,
2-point
This
set
is the
kind of
series
thing,
with the
or
Bronco, right?
you can get it
Yeah.
as a 2-coin set, but they released two different things, like the 1-ounce gold coin and then the silver collectible for people who want to pay $130.
Isaac, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't this like the flowing hair and the sunflower?
No. So they're doing this for the 250th anniversary. They're re-releasing a bunch of other coin
Okay.
designs. This is just a new one that they've released. We already looked at the Standing Liberty 1-ounce
Gotcha.
and the Mercury Dime 1-ounce that they're doing.
Uh-huh.
This is just another one that they've announced.
I like the gold Mercury dime. That's cool.
I think that's sick, yeah.
Yeah.
They did a palladium version of that a while ago, I believe, and I really like that one. That was a really slick coin.
Yeah, Kurt has his hand raised. What's up, Kurt?
I find this to be very annoying. We already have reissues of the St. Gaudens, of the Standing Liberty, and of the Mercury Dime. Listen, if we're going to do them again, we should also have designs that we haven't seen. Like, I'd love a drape bust. I'd love a seated Liberty, a Gobrecht. There's so many other designs of U.S. coins that we could be using. And to just do a rehash of, we already, in 2016, we already had a Mercury Dime, we already had a Walker, and we already had a Standing Liberty quarter less than 10 years ago.
Yeah, and the $50 gold coins now already have that design on them. That's the biggest thing for me. It's like
I'm
we have
excited.
this
I'm
coin.
excited for it. It's better than nothing. But there's so much material to draw from. Think
Yeah.
about all the patterns. Charles can go for on and on about how many amazing, incredible pattern designs there are out there, and we're just not
Tons.
using any of
Hey,
it.
pick a
Like
silver
imagine
coin.
a Judd 1776. That's the perfect modern release in my head.
I'd buy that.
We can do it. Like, it's not illegal. Like, we could do it. But the way the Mint acts, it's like the only design they're allowed to use is this St. Gaudens Walking Liberty. And I love it. Don't get me wrong. It's great. But, come on. Let's try something new here.
But you know why the flowing hair dollar design was so popular with the reissue is because I think a lot not only is it a great iconic design of American coinage, but also to own a flowing hair dollar in really good condition like that is really ridiculously expensive for a lot of people, for most people, right? And then
It's
but you
unattainable
can
for most. Yeah.
yeah, it's unattainable. So like but you could buy the reissue, maybe, yeah, it's still costly, but there's a lot more people that could spend $5,000 than they can, you know, 50 to 100 plus $1,000. You know what I mean? So
I
Yeah.
mean, a
it's
50
just,
to 100 plus thousand wouldn't even get you a nice 94. I mean, the James Stack collection just sold one for
but
4.58
they
million dollars. Yeah.
could buy a 95 for XF that looks really good, cat coin, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so, but imagine that, like, that's why it makes sense to do remake that design to make it more attainable for a lot of people. But
Totally.
what are you gonna you when you could, as Jeff said, you could buy a St. Gaudens, like accommodate St. Gaudens in Mint State
Yeah.
for like the price of gold. Why are you gonna buy a new remake of it for 20% over
Like
or more?
this would have been a banger coin if they just made the silver one, in my opinion. Right? If they made a silver $1 St. Gaudens coin, that would have been a straight up banger. It would have sold
Oh
for
yeah.
$100. It would have went for retail because the people that can't afford a $5,000 Saint would have bought a $100 to $300 silver Saint. And vice versa. So, I mean, I'm a little disappointed. I mean, I really like what Curt said before about potentially bringing up the patterns and juds. I mean, you have an entire book of coins that were never actually produced, but were created as juds that you could bring up that are super cool designs that could be brought back. There is a lot of stuff that they could do. So I'm not going to crap on the mint too much. I love what they do. My business exists because they create such great products. But this one, I think, kind of fell a little bit.
Yeah. If you do want to buy real St. Gaudens, there is a pretty high-end heritage auction going on today and tomorrow. By the time this podcast goes up, it'll be almost over, but it's the Heritage U.S. Signature Auction. They've got some pretty cool pieces on here, like a 1908 S. Curt, why is this a cool coin?
What grade is that? That looks insane.
That's an MS-67.
Whoa!
There you go.
So I don't know too much about the Wells Fargo quote unquote collection that came out. Charles, do you remember if they had '08S as well as '08Ps?
I would imagine so. The S is going to be better than the P, I'll tell you that for sure. And a 67, wow, that's like very high grade right there.
Superb gem saints that aren't from, I'll tell you, there's probably 10 1907 and 1908 superb gems for every one that's not of that date due to the
Oh
bank
yeah.
find that was found a few decades ago. Let me see the next coin. I'm more excited about that Indian.
Yeah, this is a
Wow.
1907
Oh
wire
seven.
rim and MS-64.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Wow.
Great
That's
coin,
just
man.
perfect.
Yeah, so why does that excite you guys?
It's key date for the
It's
series. I
early
mean,
stage of
that's
production.
yeah. That's the one you want. Like usually when people are creating a collection of these, they don't have that coin. The wired rim and then the the wired edge.
You have the wire rim versus the flat rim. They were set aside for collectors, specifically as President Roosevelt ordered. They're technically an experimental striking, but I mean, yeah.
Yeah, so that, I guess just like super low mintage compared to the 1907 flat rim.
Yeah. And on top of that, that's a one type issue where they only made that Indian for the $10. So that's also cool too.
It's a specialty, yeah. Early production, very great coin.
Another interesting piece here, 1795 early gold eagle MS-61. A lot of people don't know they only made a $10 gold up until the 1850s. So this was the largest denomination gold coin for the United States up until the gold rush, pretty much. Who would this be used by?
Merchants, probably. I mean, that's a lot of money in gold for back then. I mean, it got to the point where
Yeah,
the cost of the gold price of gold was above the cost of of what they were making them for. So that I'm surprised. It's a miracle that mints like a lot of these survived. Really.
Couple more highlights here. A nice 1879 Stella in 66. It's the flowing hair. I like the coiled hair design better on the Stellas, but I mean, for a Stella, you can't really be too picky.
Yeah, I like the coiled hair better too.
Why did they make a three? Why were they trying a $3 gold coin? Do we know? Do
You
we
mean a
know?
$4 gold coin?
It's $4.
Sorry, yeah. Why were they trying a $4 gold coin?
Because it would because our $5 gold coin weighed at 0.24 versus a sovereign at 0.2354. So by slightly
Right.
lowering the gold content, it would put it at parity with. I'm not sure what is the Stella's AGW? That's a good question. Does anyone know?
I can
No.
look at it real quick.
It's got to be
It should
comparable,
be
Kurt.
in the point. It should be 0.18 to 0.2, if I had to guess.
It is 0.1935.
That's so weird.
wow.
So think about the LMU, like the 20 francs that were 0.1867.
These are cool though. There's the Numis myth that they didn't end up actually going into production because they were released into circulation in Washington D.C. and they ended up in the brothels, and like the women in the brothels were wearing them as necklaces and stuff. So they got a bad image, and then they decided not to run them. I don't know if that story has any merit, but that is the story.
Yeah, but in reality, it's a shame we didn't pick up the Bickford patterns. It would have been cool to have the United States as part of the LMU, but with conflating foreign exchange markets, that idea probably would have never been able to work out. But cool coin. Sorry we didn't make
You
it.
know, when I just ChatGPT'd it real quick, and it said one of the biggest reasons they actually made that coin was in the 1870s. Some of the U.S. policymakers wanted to join the Latin Monetary Union, the LMU, and the currency bloc that pretty much included France, Italy, Belgium, Switzerland, etc. With their standard gold coin was a 20 franc piece. So the $4 coin was America's shot at pretty much competing and getting into on a 1v1 equivalence to the LMU.
That sounds accurate, but
Interesting.
be careful with those. ChatGPT, like a disclaimer for our viewers, it's not a reliable source of numismatic
Yeah,
information.
and it hallucinates a
Not
lot.
even close.
You're gonna fare better with coin facts, you know.
Yeah, just pulling up the actual page and reading what information like NGC and PCGS have on there, and like usually they have a link to some article or something, or you can find good reliable folks on there to help learn from as well. I wanted to look at this real
Right.
quick as well, just because we were talking about the $20 libs. This one, why would this be substantial? It's just a $20 lib, right? It's an 1861.
It's a Paquet, isn't it?
circulated. It is a Paquet Reverse.
Let's
Curt.
go.
Could you
Oh,
explain to the
nice.
audience what this is?
Yeah, Anthony Paquet was the assistant. He was the assistant engraver at the Mint. So he never actually, he made a lot of patterns. He was from Germany, immigrated to the United States after the Revolution of 1848. He was a really prolific metal and pattern engraver for the United States Mint. I've actually had some of the medals that he made for the Washington cabinet back in the late 1850s. And he did actually have an idea to lower the relief of the font of the $20 libs. So, yeah, really cool. He was an assistant engraver during 1861, so they adopted his reverse design for a brief period of time in 1861. So it technically is its own type. It should technically be the Type 2 20s if you're trying to get technical, but the variety wasn't discovered until much later by collectors, decades after. So most examples were either melted or taken out of circulation as VFs. So there's very, very few high-grade examples known or surviving examples. I've actually known multiple people that have cherry-picked them, and it's a personal dream of mine to find one as a common 61S. But great coin.
This is beautiful.
Yeah.
I like this a
That
lot.
the one that's up
great.
for sale right now, that's an S, right? That's a 61S. Not a six, not just a straight 61 Paquet, right?
Yeah, it's a 61S in
Yeah.
AU55.
Okay.
The vast majority are going to be from the
I was
San
gonna
Francisco
say,
Mint.
yeah, of course.
And just for context, there's 10 in AU55 in PCGS.
Yeah, that sounds about
There's
right.
none in yeah, so that's literally top
Yeah.
pop. There's literally none
Yeah.
in
That's crazy.
mid-state. That's awesome. Very, very cool.
So a non-S in the PK is going to be incredibly rare. Like that's going to be a mega coin when it comes up for auction.
This is so nice. If you like coins or you're just now getting into coins, go onto the PCGS website and just do this. This is fun. You get, I mean, this is like one of the best ways to look at a coin. They've got every coin, and it's like a 4K, 8K image of the details of the coin. This is a good time. Anyway, we'll move on to our last topic here. I wanted to talk a little bit about counterfeits. I wanted to get some of the panel's experience with counterfeits. Maybe not specifically over the last couple of weeks, but I personally have just noticed an uptick in counterfeit, just random fake silver, low-end silver that's just not real. I had that 93S that I found at a pawn shop that was just like a copper dipped in silver plating. But I also wanted to dive in a little bit to the Omega Man. Do you guys know about the Omega Man?
The perfect crime, yeah, of course.
The Omega Man. Curt, sounds like you know a little bit about the Omega Man.
So in the
do you have a little high-level rundown?
Yeah, in the early 70s, I believe it was at the Annex office back when it used to be in D.C., they discovered that a few high-relief saints that were coming in, believe it or not, and I'm sure that there'll be photos thrown in post of the Omega symbol hidden in the reverse talon of the coin. The counterfeits look exactly the same. I mean, I could hardly tell them apart with my eye. You'll have to see quite a few of them in person before you're able to spot the difference without a loop. And then also the 1882, I want to say 82, $3 gold coin has one as well in the loop of the 3 on the reverse. So those two dates for sure we know were counterfeited sometime before the 1970s. I think that it was some sort of transfer die counterfeit, but I mean, given the technology of the day, I mean, really impressive artistry by the counterfeiters, and who knows how many people were fooled. But yeah, you still come across them today in collections, so it's not unheard of. Oh, it's
They're
in the
collectible
R
now.
of the 3. Yeah, it's in the
Yeah.
R.
In the headband.
Yeah,
People
yeah, that
collect
makes
them
more
actually.
sense.
Annex slabs them.
Yeah,
as-
yeah. They get
as
them graded,
as fakes. Yep.
and ICG too.
Because they are like
ICG does, yeah.
the same, like they are gold, right? They are
Yeah.
are like the actual
Yeah.
coin. Right?
90%
And they
gold
just,
are
like,
the correct alloys. Everything's correct about them.
Yeah. So I kind of wanted to bring it to the panel. We'll start with Charles. Have you had any experiences in your career with counterfeiting? Was there a time when you got hit or a time when you caught something before buying it?
Yeah. So with Saints, okay, like after close examination of buying a collection of Saints, when I looked at them with the loop, I noticed like weird things with the dies, like the font wasn't right and stuff like that, and then of course they turned out to be fakes, but gold fakes. Like it was weird, but that it happens. Like the Saint, I don't know if that was I don't think it was per se an Omega, but there was other people also counterfeiting Saint-Gaudens coins. So you really have to look at the dies and and compare the strikes. You really have to look at the strike when you're buying these coins raw, because there are fakes out there and they are gold, and it's very hard to tell at an eye's glance.
Yeah. Curt, do you have any experiences you'd like to share?
Bringing it to world coins, sovereigns are also a commonly counterfeited coin from the Middle East. They were bullion, so usually, guys, just be careful. Buy the book before the coin, obviously. Try to familiarize yourself with the types of coins. There's really, look for soft, grainy surfaces where there shouldn't be, off color. Try to compare it to photos of known graded examples. If you don't know enough to confidently authenticate the coin, show it to a friend that you trust, or your local coin shop owner. And then honestly, the only way that I've been able to handle it is just see a lot of coins, experience. And there are still times where I can be buying a large quantity of bulk coins and a contemporary counterfeit slips through, and in that case it's a learning lesson, and I keep them as a reminder of what fooled me. If you buy enough coins, eventually you will buy a counterfeit. And if you haven't bought a counterfeit coin yet, just keep buying coins and it'll come up. So
Yeah, you have. I heard a dealer once. He told me if you haven't bought a fake coin yet, you're not buying enough.
yeah, it just happens for everyone, and if you deal with reputable dealers, they'll always, I obviously offer 100% lifetime authenticity guarantee, just like every other reputable dealer. So it goes eventually up the chain to where it was, if I find out a coin I bought was counterfeit, I just return it to the guy who sold it to me. He returns it to the guy who sold it to him, so on and so forth. And in theory, it should go back to the guy who faked the coin, right? So just the cost of doing business sometimes.
Yeah, Jeff, do you have any experience with counterfeits through your coin dealing?
Way too many. Unfortunately, in the world coin market, most coins that come out are counterfeit. And believe it or not, it's not even as nefarious sometimes as like the Omega and people doing like federally illegal stuff. One, U.S. coins, if you remake those, I'm pretty sure it's a federal crime inside the United States of America. But if you're remaking other coins that are not United States or obsolete money like Spanish money and stuff like that, I don't think that's a crime. Someone might need to check me on that. But the big problem I have in my market is that a lot of people remake coins. So they found the dies on the ships, or remember they still existed in Spain or in Mexico or something. They get them from the museum or reclaim them. They melt down a silver bar, gold bar that's from the wreck or from that period, and they remake coins within that silver. So in my area of business, not only do I have the nefarious people making fake coins, but I also have like the uneducated people that buy these coins as novelty items, and then accidentally put them back in the market thinking that they are real or authentic. When in reality, the silver in it might be authentic to that wreck or time zone, but the coin itself was not actually minted in that time. So, it got so bad in my industry that eBay literally outlawed world coins and shipwreck coins. I think over $1,000 to even be placed online raw. It became such a problem that even eBay had to step in and do a slight course correction. So, and you've seen it, Isaac, coming through the office. We have fake coins that come through, silver eagles, gold coins. The Sigma doesn't read them properly. And I'm like, hey, it doesn't necessarily mean that this is completely fake, but like if my Sigma is not reading this and it's reading mine, I'm not comfortable buying them. And I have to turn people away all of the time. We actually just had a customer that came in with like a $6,000 quarter, and the quarter ended up to be altered and fake. So, in every which angle, it's more and more surprising how it's just becoming more and more frequent.
Yeah, it's definitely something to be vigilant about. It is an ongoing issue. It's not new, but I think it's not nearly as known as it should be. I was reading a study that something like 10% of global trade is counterfeit goods, and it's like that's mind-blowing. That's insane.
No, I think that has more or less to do with like makeup, shoes, purses, and luxury goods.
Right. Of course,
100%.
But counterfeiting in general, it's just like it's so much bigger than people realize. It's like trillions of dollars a year of counterfeit merchandise.
Try going to the purse section in Chinatown in New York, man. At the end of the day, for years, you go down there, you get watches, you get purses, you get all kinds of stuff. They've been trying to nail down those sections for years. I think France made it illegal. You can get arrested if you show up in Paris with a fake bag because it's so overdone. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. I feel like we should close out with this every episode from here on out. We have Curt has a coin up for auction right now. Charles, I want to just go around whatever we have going on. Anything you want to plug or mention, we'll go person by person. Jeff, you have something to say first. What's up?
Yeah, I wanted to bring up something real quick. It's not really something that's in-house, but, if you've been following our podcast, if you've been listening to our podcast, whether you're new, you're old, or a friend, Put your comments below. We read them. We love to, help educate and entertain. But one of the really big things, yeah, that's what I wanted to bring up, was the Marin Privy coin. I know a lot of my fellow coin people here are not modern people, but I mean, this was, people were getting sick and tired of the Privy coins. I think they released like 5 this year, like 2 last year. And then all of a sudden, the Marine Corps was supposed to be the last one of the armed forces that they were doing, I believe. And long story short, I think the U.S. Mint's actually recalling some of the coins. The grading was so low; it was grading around 10 to 15%, which I think is one of the worst American Silver Eagle grade out percentages in the history of making Silver Eagles. So just for reference, my wholesale costs went up over 50% just to buy these coins right now. It's pretty ridiculous. And you can start to see that the word is traveling pretty quick on the grade out on these, because we got almost a half a dozen offers for full retail on these coins on eBay within the last couple of days. And I think people are starting to get their coins, they're starting to get the grading results back, and they're starting to see. So, I mean, if you were lucky enough to log in, I think on a 10th or something, to pick up this coin for $100, I think in a 70 right now, anywhere in the market, it's like a $400 to $700 coin and skyrocketing pretty quickly. So you'll probably see some news coming out, throughout the next couple of weeks. So just the value of this coin skyrocketing because of this. Who knows what the U.S. Mint might do? They might take the coins back and just refund the money. They might melt them down and try to make more. And then we'll have like a part 1, part 2 style. I don't really know what's going to go on right now. And I actually don't even know why a proof coin would grade out so low. So obviously something catastrophic happened in the minting process and traveling process of these coins that cost such a low grade. So, if you've been paying attention to the podcast, if you've been spending $100 every other month when these Privy coins come out, all in all, you would have done extremely well. Obviously this is an investment advice, but it is crazy to see these coins come out of the U.S. Mint with the grading results and stuff like that. You're really starting to see coins which became easy, double up on your money is now, 4, 5, 6, 7x on your money because of the grading results. So, we've been preaching it since the first podcast. So I'll leave you with the fact that next year everything is going to be 250th anniversary. I heard he's going to have a preview or something special on it. So, if you've been really considering it or on the edge, pay attention to the U.S. Mint, because these coins are selling out fast. Just a little antidote, but if you would have bought the Bucking Bronco coin, and what was that, 2024 when that came out, for $2,800, that's a $13,000 coin.
21.
Yeah, 21. So it came out in 21. That's a 1-ounce gold coin. No one said anything about it. It wasn't even on anyone's radar. But it was the first of that series to come out. It's now a $10,000 to $13,000 coin. Flowing hair, $7,000 to $10,000 coin. And even though the last one that was just released with the sunflower, that coin's already doubled to triple at a 70 grade. So pay attention to the U.S. Mint like you would a Nike release or something else, because it's crazy. It really is.
Definitely something to look out for, and I appreciate you bringing that up before we close things out. Like I said, we're just going to go around the panel. Anything you've got going on or places you want people to go look at coins, we'll just plug it here. Mine is, we're live every Sunday on eBay Live at 6 p.m. EST. You can click the link in the description and save the next show. Charles, what do you have going on?
Well, so I don't know if you're familiar with the Fiji Coca-Cola branded coin that they made. It's a very popular modern coin. They made in several different sizes, denominations, and then different font types, like from countries around the world. They have, it was widely popular. And I actually have the prototype. It came out of a prominent dealer / collector of pop culture coins personal collection. It's one of one. It is the actual prototype for the whole series, and it'll be up for auction. It ends on December 11th at 6 p.m. Pacific time. So you can bid on that at bidnow.vegascoindealer.com. Just register. In the comments, you can there's a section there where you have how did you hear about this auction? Just put Premier Rare Coin Podcast so we know we can validate you, and then we'll get you approved to bid.
Very cool. Very cool. Kurt, what do we got?
I just happy to be here, guys. We have a new project unleashing soon. We're in stealth mode with it right now, though, so stay tuned for next week.
Okay.
Sneaky.
And also the coin up for auction that Colonial sent.
Yeah, it's a fantastic 1836 steam press token, minted the first day of March 22nd, 1836. We often pick up a medal or a token and wonder, where has this been? Well, we know exactly where this coin was on March 22nd, 1836. Specimen 65 graded. I guarantee you that the coin looks a lot nicer than 65. It's probably a superb gem quality coin. Purchased it raw out of an old collection. It's as fresh can be. It's the first time it's been on the market in 60 plus years, and it's just a phenomenal coin in hand. So go ahead and check that out, and let me know what you think of it. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Yeah. Jeff, anything you want to mention?
Nope. I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, one of the largest shipwreck auctions in the world is actually going on right now. So that's pretty crazy. So a lot of crazy stuff is going to come out. I know we were hooting and hollering this morning. I think all shipwreck coins just did a 2x jump overnight. So $500,000 in bids. I think I won like $60,000 of the stuff. So a little heartbreaking, but also a little glory moment as well. But I mean, Inniscudos that I was buying in February for, $17,000 to $22,000 from the 1715 fleet are now 35 to 40 grand. I mean, the whole market just did a real quick. So I mean, it's just been overwhelming across the board. I think all of you guys have been seeing it with gold up, silver up. The economy's been up, but rare coins. I mean, the best thing about rare coins is they're not making more of them. And there's only a limited number of them that are out there, and usually more people that want them than products. So I mean, it is truly remarkable.
All right, so yeah, I guess stay tuned for whatever we get from that. We'll post on the Instagram and the YouTube, of course. Kurt, Charles, Jeff, thanks so much for hopping on for the hour. If you guys enjoyed watching/listening to this episode, make sure you show us a little bit of love. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. That'll help push this content out to more people just like you. We're trying to get all the coin collectors together in one spot. Until next time, we'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.